All right, so I want to explain my strategy when it comes to, SEO, getting ranked, and it's worked on every single website that I actually put the work into. I guess that's the key thing, and I'll get to my motto later because that's going to be an email I'm going to send you soon. But let's talk about this is the mind map, and I actually now like to do all my mind maps by hand, and I have a lot of those mind map programs like MindJet and a few other ones, and they're great. They're really cool, but they're not as cool as doing it by hand because when you do it by hand, you can make notes, you can change things, you can scribble things out, and it's just so much easier to kind of just think about things. So I really do like to do it by hand now, and if you're interested in knowing how I did this one, you might be familiar with it. I'm sure if you're on any of the internet celebrity list, as I like to say, the big dogs who like to teach sometimes. But the Pulse Smart Pen is how I did this. I have the one of the original ones. They have a really cool one out. But anyway, let's get to the mind map. So this is how I get my top rankings, and I've done it in really competitive markets. Some of them that have like, gosh, I think 18 million or 80 million competing pages. So we're talking big time markets and big time keywords, and it's just because it's fundamental. SEO truly is easy. You just have to do the work. You have to do, and here's the motto, you have to do something every single day to move your business forward. So if you choose SEO, do something every single day, meaning build links every single day to move your business forward, and you will succeed. So let's hop in here. All right, so we have your website, and I have three things underneath it: WordPress, e-commerce, or membership. And the reason I do that is because most of my websites are built on WordPress. But however, I love e-commerce. I love to sell physical products. They're a lot easier to sell because when somebody's looking for something, they usually kind of want it. And the platform I use, I actually tested a few of them. Loaded, and I got that through, and I'll actually introduce you to this, Steve Clayton. His course called Niche Blueprint was the first one how I got introduced to e-commerce. And like I said, now I'm a manufacturer myself, so I've kind of really grown a lot in that industry. But I use Loaded, great platform. If you could find a developer, I go to Odesk. I have a great developer there. I'll ask him if I can share his name for you if you're ever interested. But he can pretty much customize anything on Loaded, so you can make a really cool website. I've also done 3D Cart. 3D Cart is more of like not self-hosted, but they host it on their servers platform. It's pretty darn easy to actually work, and it's all right. And then finally, I have membership. And membership being like, for example, one of my membership sites in the fitness industry, where you kind of know I have a couple websites, is built on MemberGate. And MemberGate is like a super expensive software solution. I kind of wish I didn't buy it. It's really great, don't get me wrong, but it's really, really expensive. I think I paid $4,000, $5,000 for it, something like that. And the site is not quite made. I mean, it's made back that money since I've had it, but not where I want it to be, because that truly is that's like one of my goals in life, is to make that fitness business like 7 figures, because I think it really can be. But membership software can go integrate with WordPress. In fact, I'm going to be experimenting with that personally soon, not necessarily with you guys, but with a couple other markets that I'm in, with what you call wishlist member. So there are some great plugins that work. So really, those are the kind of three things that I really recommend. If you're gonna There are a few other, like Shopify is an e-commerce website thing. There's a couple other membership website type things. Stick with WordPress most of the time, though. WordPress is great. I don't know why Google likes it, because it's most of the time it's very cleanly coded and things like that. So let's go to on-page optimization. Your first big thing is on-page optimization, and that means we need to know your keywords. So let's take a quick hiatus and let's hop over to keywords, because keywords is your keyword research. So I like to pick. All right, this is kind of like controversial, I guess, but I'm not afraid of competition at all, except for if it's going to be like insurance or anything like where the big Fortune 500s are going to be. So like insurance, healthcare kind of stuff. What are the big CPA type author stuff? So again, you got insurance, car insurance. I'm not afraid. Oh, well, weight loss, but weight loss is a stupid keyword to optimize for anyway. But I'm not afraid of anything in the health and fitness market. In fact, I already got some good rankings for some huge keywords. Let's see. Like for example, I got top 10 rankings in fitness training, which is a huge keyword. That actually doesn't bring as much traffic as you'd think, though, but it has lots of competition. I'm not afraid of competition, and you don't need to be either. I'm telling you, because I'm not a super millionaire yet either. I don't have tons of money to throw at things just yet. But you really don't need to be afraid of competition, which is why the first step is to choose a major keyword. Make sure that and I always double check everything in Google Keyword Tool on exact match. Make sure it has over 10,000 monthly searches. If it doesn't, don't even bother. You want to make sure that when you get ranked number one, you get over 100 visitors or hundreds of visitors every single day. Potentially, we would love to roll that into a couple thousand visitors, but that's actually a lot harder said than done. All right, so then we go, that's our one major keyword where our home page is going to get ranked for. But we want to make sure our website is actually built out and actually looks like a real website that can actually help somebody. So we have lots of categories. So these are our smaller keywords, and our smaller keywords make up our categories. And we get those mainly through using Google's Wonder Wheel. I'm sure you've heard of the Wonder Wheel. If not, I will have a video for you. But I like to go to the Google keyword tool, find other keywords. You know, it may not be the Wonder Wheel because it may not give me good keywords. I like to make sure that my smaller keywords within the same market have at least, I would say at least, around 3,000 keywords or 3,000 searches a month on exact match. If they don't have that, then I'm thinking, you know, it's not really worth it, because my goal is to get the main web page number one and all the smaller ones number one for their individual keywords. That way you're going to really maximize traffic. If it's anything around 1,500 or less, forget about it. Don't bother picking that keyword or optimizing for it. It's probably not going to be worth it. So, and like here's my little parentheses, how you can get around the PPC testing. So for example, a lot of times you're going to hear the best way to do this is to test your keyword in pay-per-click first to make sure that it gets enough searches. And that's actually really a great way to do it. I highly, highly suggest it. Go to Google, create an AdWords account if you don't have one already. Create a campaign. Let's say, for example, if we're going to do wine glasses. Well, Rydell is, I think it's Rydell, but Rydell is a big wine glass maker. They're one of the best. So, you know, just do some keywords on wine glasses and do exact match, mainly on your just major keyword. Let's say it's luxury wine glasses. Do exact match luxury wine glasses towards, and just point the traffic at Rydell. Who cares? You're not trying to make money. You're just going to test the amount of searches that that keyword actually gets. And when it's really high, you know you got a winner. But you don't really have to do that. And the reason is, in my opinion, is if you go after a major keyword to begin with. So if you know, if Google's keyword tool is telling you that luxury wine glasses gets 15,000 or 20,000 or 30,000 searches a month, even though they may not quite be the perfect buyer keyword, you know you're going to get tons of traffic. And what can you do if they're not going to buy? You can build a list. And that's always, and then you can just go from there. And your smaller keywords are in your smaller categories. That's where the buying is going to happen anyway. It's not going to happen with the major thing. The major thing is just to get tons of traffic, so you can either build a list or siphon out the people who will buy. And it does work. I've done it plenty of times on different websites. So the tools I use to do my keyword research: Google Keyword Tool. It's free. It's awesome. KWBP stands for Keyword Blueprint. It's part of Steve Clayton's awesome tool, like repertoire or whatever kind of word you might want to use for that. And the reason if you're wondering, like and you're on my list obviously right now, and I really appreciate it. And you know, you're wondering why don't I have any of my own tools? Is because he already has created these great tools. Why do I need to recreate them? It's an awesome tool. I use it all the time. Market Samurai. That's Market S. Market Samurai, awesome tool, one-time payment. You got to get it. It's really cool. Again, I use it all the time for SEO research. It's the best tool there is. In fact, all these three combined, I always use them for SEO research, and that's great. So now we have our keyword, and we're going to go over to on-page optimization. Let's keep going with the luxury wine glass example. So we have our keyword.